You're a sales manager that specializes in finance. When you are not doing something that is directly finance related, you need to be out there in the arena, on the sales floor, helping close deals, helping to supervise salespeople. If I bought your dealership today, if I became your dealer, I would have a general manager, I would have a general sales manager, and then I would just have managers. My used car manager and my finance manager would be equal. Just managers. I have a manager that specializes in pre-owned. I have a manager that specializes in new. And I can't tell you, I'm consulting 98 corporations right now that own car dealerships. I've been a big influence in your company, haven't I? Huge influence. You're doing a lot of my stuff, and you're one of the most successful chains of dealerships in the country. I'm telling you what, my dealerships are knocking it out of the ballpark today. But the thing is, it's process. It's philosophy. I'm not teaching techniques, because if you don't understand the philosophy and the culture behind the technique, am I making good sense to you? You've got to understand why we do this. And you've got to be willing to fire people that won't do this. You don't have to fire everybody in a dealership. When I get involved in a dealership, we got to fire somebody. You ever watch Gunsmoke when you were younger?
When I was older, too.
Yeah. You and I get that, don't we? Thing about it is, Gunsmoke. Remember Festus Hagen?
No.
You don't.
I do. He's too young.
Festus said to Matt Dillon one time, he said, Matthew, did you ever notice the town gets real quiet after a hanging? Why do you have to fire somebody? Because the town gets real quiet after a hanging. You got a bunch of mutineer salespeople, and never fire the green pea. Always fire the 20-car guy who thinks he's bulletproof, a woman. You ever see an umpire in a baseball game that is boring? You're out. You're out. You ever see that boring umpire? But then there's that other umpire. You're out of here. That's the way I fire people. I never fire people with any amount of dignity. The best way to fire somebody is in a sales meeting when you throw them a cardboard box. I brought your Samsonite. Now that might be humor, but that might be more real than you know. So, processes, I'm going to get a little serious for a second. Average people with great processes can yield incredible results. Average people with great processes can do incredible things. Throughout the 40 years I've been kicking around the car business, most dealerships operate by superstar. Most dealerships operate by bringing in a superstar that's going to change everything. This superstar is going to bring their own team in. Shit, he is going to, and he does or she does. They do. Till the dealer fires them and they take all their people with them, and here comes another superstar. And the other superstar wants to change everything the other superstar did. And the salespeople are confused. They don't know what to do anymore. And all of a sudden you have no culture. Because you keep replacing these superstars that keep changing everything up. I was in a dealership in Hendersonville, North Carolina. We had a Chevy store doing 200 units a month in the day. And a manager came from the Ford store in Charlotte, North Carolina. The big Ford store. He said, Mr. Ziegler, where do you see how we desk deals where I came from? And he showed me some penciling techniques. I said, man, that's incredible. That is incredible. Wow. He said, I thought you'd like that. I said, that's the best pencil I ever saw. Wow, show me some more. So he showed me some more. And I said, now you realize we're not going to do any of that shit here. He said, what do you mean? I said, this dealer has spent $100,000 having me put a program in here And you're not going to come in and change it all up and confuse these salespeople we've been training in another way. Now, we may do that pencil. That pencil is superior to what I've been teaching. But we will gradually put it in. We will gradually train it. You're not just going to jump on the desk and start doing it. You follow what I'm saying? That's why most of your dealerships are screwed up. Because you got people coming and going, and they're all doing these different processes, and you haven't got a culture that transcends the individual. The culture transcends the individual. You will adapt to the way we do business. We will not adapt to the way you want to do business. We have a policy, and that's what I have partially achieved in your dealership, and that's why your numbers are up so much. Because when I came in, you were doing business a whole bunch of different ways. Now me and Mr. Rouser and all the managers here, we got things rolling in a direction. We have rules. And we got everybody on board, well, except Don. But anyway, did Don know that I still criticize him?
Yeah.
Okay, be sure that you said I criticized him on video. Okay. Now you got Mr. Bradley coming in your dealership pretty soon. We're going to do the internet.
That's right.
The menu is absolutely essential. Is anybody in the room not doing a menu? Anybody in the room not doing menu sales? Okay, good. Let's talk about menu sales. I'm going to do a little textbook stuff here. Let's get on page 13 for a second. If you notice on page 13, I have a phrase that highlighted. It's really hard to test drive a service contract. The biggest thing we have to understand is that we are selling intangibles. The biggest thing we have to understand is you cannot test drive a piece of paper. So you've got to be able to create a visual to the customer's mind. Selling F&I is a visual and emotional sale. When I taught Dale Carnegie courses, what year were you born?
76.
When I taught Dale Carnegie courses in 1973, you know, when I was teaching Dale Carnegie courses in 1973, they were talking about visual sales. Create a word picture. This right out of Carnegie. Create a word picture of your client using your product, enjoying your product, and benefiting from your product. You've got to be able to make the customer visually see the benefits of your products. You've got to get into their visual and emotional mind. And that's the problem with most F&I people today. They sell to logic. They try to logically sell the F&I. They're doing all that JM&A shit. It doesn't work. Because they're trying to sell logically. They're trying to sell word tracks. They sound like little wound up robots doing little wound up robot word tracks. The word tracks I'm going to teach in this seminar. And by the way, edit out that reference to JM&A. We don't need to be sued. Most people today are using these little wound up robotic word tracks. You don't sound real. You don't sound personable. So the things I teach in this seminar are going to be conversational, not memorizational. Am I making good sense? Not memorized, conversationalized. Like you're talking with the people, not talking at the people. So understand, it's a conversation. The word tracks that we teach in this class, I'm going to say them different ways. They're modular. You know, as long as you learn the modules and you learn the key things you want to get in front of the customer, as long as you learn the key elements of the word track, Very, very important. The things you say, visual. Create a word picture. In the 70s, Rod Stewart had a song called Every Picture Tells a Story. Well, in the 2000s, Ziegler has one called Every Story Tells a Picture. We're turning that around. I want to create a visual. I want that customer to see in their own mind using, enjoying, benefiting, being saved by the service contract. With a service contract, save the consumer. Does that make sense? That's a great pose. Take it. The service contract's going to save them. So you've got to be able to present it that way. You've got to get in the customer's visual mind. That's why I get a kick out of people who want to sit there and draw graphs for the customer. I mean, I've been to F&I schools. Well, we're going to draw this graph and we're going to appeal to their logic. That doesn't sell. You're going to sit there and draw graphs for them. They're bored. They're boring. No, man, you got to get into their visual, emotional mind. When I had that service contract save their lives economically,